Long days and pleasant nights, fellow travelers along the path of the beam, and welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Cecil Laird.
And we're going to be talking about from the Game On Expo 2018 with all this geek-tastic awesomeness behind us. Well, we're going to segue and talk about the 5th episode of J.J. Abrams' Castle Rock, an episode that I have seen many people, myself included, think was very slow, and not really very much happened in this episode. What did you think?
I liked this episode because because we got the most of Skarsgård.
True.
And the least of the annoying female characters. So
yeah. Well, they did have the one reveal about the girl from Don't Breathe.
What was that reveal?
The little Easter egg about what her last name.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was wondering, and they finally at least explained what her connection is without spoiling anything. So that was a fun little Easter egg, I guess, but not anything that I didn't expect or that really enriched or made the episode better, in my opinion. This is a show for me that really lives or dies based on its Easter eggs and little hidden connections and stuff a lot of the time, with the exception of Skarsgård. Like you said, he is the most intriguing and the best part of this whole show. Yeah,
for sure. And I can see why some people would say it's a boring show because while he's the best part, he's also the most quiet.
Yeah, he says like nothing practically here and there. But
yeah, considering he's the most interesting and he's the most quiet, I guess that's kind of says something. And we have had people say on comments regarding our complaints about the slow build, something that you said yourself, is that, I mean, it's a Stephen King inspired property. So, I mean, his aren't known for being out of the gate huge and crazy rockin' times, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm remember you're jogging my memory about saying that now. He's written so many of these huge tomes that they take a while to get going a lot of the time, or they start, with like an interesting catch and then they kind of slow down and meander in the middle. So you can't really say it's not faithful in that aspect, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, though, everyone in the show basically is so soft-spoken that it's not even a plateau. It's just sort of a flat line running through the whole thing.
I watch it with the subtitles on, dude.
Yeah, a baseline. I mean, no one ever goes above the energy level of like 6, except for the mom. And
Pangborn the one time in the episode when he got drunk.
Well, he got drunk, but he still wasn't. He still wasn't.
He wasn't
super
raging.
High up. No. Again, the mom, the one with the mental disorders, the dementia, she's the only one that like gets her ire up. So it's a little weird to have this whole show, and there's just no energy to it. It's all slow and plodding, and I don't mind it necessarily, but I see why a lot of people have issues with it.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm one of the people who has issues with it. I'm still trying to give it my best objective perspective. Like, for instance, I just recently watched the entire Mist series, and I hated the first few episodes of that show, but upon finally sticking with it and thinking about King has all of these infinite multiverses of connectivity, I just have to stay in that frame of mind that, hey, this isn't that particular Castle Rock. This is maybe a different but slightly similar Castle Rock, and just go with it, And as I maintain that frame of thinking, I'm a little more okay with it, but once again, I don't find the leads very compelling, and I do think Skarsgård is more of a supporting character. Henry and his little romance thing he's got going, even the stuff with Pangborn, and the episode didn't really feel like it had as much development in comparison with the last episode with the shootout and everything, and we didn't even really feel a massive reverberation of consequence after that. There was like a newspaper headline, and that was about it. So I don't know. Obviously, we're going to stick with it. It's a King property, and this stuff tends to do really good for us. And it's
we're already
something I'm passionate about. I know. There's no turning back now.
I mean, geez.
Yeah.
Five more sessions of 41 minutes. I think I can handle that.
Yeah, I'll still contend,
although
though.
It is a slog, man. I don't know. Here's the thing. I'll bet you that The Stand, once it's finally rolling, is not going to be a slog. For whatever reason, a lot of his books in miniseries form, same with 11/22 or whatever. It felt like a slog too. Like
at times,
I just don't understand. They're I don't know. I guess if you're focusing on character development, it's going to feel slow, and if it's a long session of character development, it's going to feel slow for a long time. But you have to be able to break it up with scenes of interest. Yeah. And this show just doesn't seem like it's attempting to do that.
Yeah, it's not as well as I was hoping it would, at least. The one thing that I said to you off camera, earlier this week is that I think this show would serve better as a Netflix-style binge all at once as opposed to the weekly break. But then you contend and you're like, hey, that's what, it still happens where people have to wait, week in and week out for
well, and
tons
that's what
of different
TV
shows.
used to be until
Yeah.
Netflix.
Exactly.
Now
Netflix broke the mold, and we're all spoiled now because we get to watch it all at once.
I mean, technically, DVD box sets broke the mold. I mean, because
True.
people could just binge that way. Binging came from the DVD box sets before
True.
it came from streaming.
But at least with Netflix, it was like that was the first time it was available anywhere.
No, I agree. And it does make it a lot easier than having to wait. So now, I think, I don't know, maybe in a non-Netflix age, the public would have been more forgiving of this because they're like, well, it's every week, you have to wait. There's not much choice, and sometimes, blah, blah, blah. But now in a binge society, we're expected to be entertained on the regular.
Truly.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's a little tough on them, I suppose.
Yeah, I've seen the biggest chatter about this show being the nature of certain characters. Like, is this person like inherently evil? Do they have something to hide? Whatever. I'm gonna go out and say right now that I don't necessarily think Skarsgård's character is like an epitome of evil or something like that. I have some sneaking suspicion that he's either a scapegoat or a misunderstood. Whatever. There's definitely something deeper going on. And I'm just waiting for them to do like a big reveal connection of some sort, as opposed to just, here's a little tidbit here, here's a little tidbit there, like they've been doing.
It doesn't feel terribly dissimilar from the Jack storyline in the first half of Supernatural season 13.
Which I haven't watched yet.
I feel like this guy might be the son of Satan, but because he's been alone on Earth, he doesn't necessarily know that. He hears all of the evil and bad in the world, clearly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know why necessarily. So, because it's one of those things, nature versus nurture, since he hasn't had anyone there to nurture him one way or the other.
Yeah,
he's not necessarily good or bad. I mean, he's been tortured, so there's inclinations toward bad, I'm sure, but he's not all out like, I know I'm the son of Satan kind of thing. At least not to what I see so far.
No, I totally agree with you, man. He does have that childlike naivety, and just, he feels like I don't know, like he hasn't been tainted to the degree that, he was justifiably locked up down in that basement for. But I don't know, the fact that he doesn't age. I mean, there's a lot of interesting mystery about him, and I'll just, double down your point. As Cecil said, Skarsgård's the best thing this show has going. Everybody else is just kind of for me. I'm kind of over the mystery of Henry. I'm over it, man. I'm not really.
Who cares?
And if they're connected in some fashion, I guess maybe that might reel me back in if there is a genuine connection between Henry and the Skarsgård character, but. Because we don't even really have a name for him yet, I don't think. They were trying to identify him the whole time, and they release him in this episode despite the fact that dude is like, do not let him out in the open, and they just do it anyway. So, I don't know. I know we'll stick with it, as you mentioned, but
So is it me or that scene when he got on the roof, was it his presence that turned the family against each other? Was the family... Because that's what I got, because they sounded fine having dinner together, and then he sat down on the roof and things suddenly started to turn. So is he attracted to things that are going to be negative, or does he cause them to go bad when he's around them?
I had a totally different vibe. I was thinking for whatever reason that was him like listening to a flashback of sorts almost, because based on the attire that the people were in and stuff. And
but we didn't see the people in that scene.
We saw.
He was just on the top of the roof, and then they slowly pulled out, and it just showed him smaller and smaller.
Where they were having
the
argument.
They didn't show that anyone was in the house.
So you're talking about the birthday party argument, right? Where the husband and wife are going back and forth, and why do you have to do it on this day and all that?
So was that a memory, or was that going on inside?
I thought it was a memory, personally.
Was that a house we know?
Not that I know of. But
See,
then
that's
again,
what I'm saying. It could have just been a random house.
I needed to have watched this a second time, because all of the other episodes I've watched 2 to 3 times, because I get a little bit more like weird little in-reference chunk, like, different perspective, whatever. This is a show that, even if it is meandrous and slow and plodding, it requires rewatches, because there's obviously going to be something you'll miss here or there. Maybe you'll just see it in different contexts or whatever, because you're even making me double check my... I don't know.
That's what I got. I was like, I don't know if that's going on now or if he's remembering that happening.
I thought it was a memory personally, but that's just me.
But because they never cut to anything.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was way more. I ultimately decided on the way I said it because I thought that was more interesting.
Yeah.
Like if just his, like it's kind of like, if he were to walk through a crowded street, suddenly people would start yelling at each other and shit like that. Like his evil just kind of emanates, even though he doesn't realize
it. Permeates, and spreads. Yeah.
I hope that's what it is, because that's way more interesting to me.
I agree with you there, man.
All right, I don't know. Any final words on this?
No, nothing else. Once again, I wish I could watch more than one episode at a time because like it ends and I've been. Give me more. Come on, guys.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our review of the 5th episode of the first season of Castle Rock. Let us know in the comments down below what you guys thought of it. We'll get Marcia's interpretation of it when she joins us next time. Probably next week, because you'll be gone next week. She'll be here, so maybe she and I will do 6, and then you'll have to come back and do 7. It's gonna be all over the place. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias, Jaime Fuego.
Here from the Game On Expo 2018. Why? Because it's Sunday and we have to shoot our content anyway, and we're here. So thanks again, and remember, stay scared.